Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
Hey, Cricket customers, Max with ads is included with your Cricket $60 unlimited plan at no additional cost. Nice! Max is the streaming platform where you can watch Scoob, Meg 2 The Trench, The Nightmare on Elm Street collection, and so much more. Remember me. Just log in with your Cricket username and password to experience Max on all your favorite devices.
We've never seen this before.
Max, the one to watch for a good scream with Cricket. Yeah! Phone plan streams in standard definition. Programming subject to change. Fees, terms, and restrictions apply. See cricketwireless.com for details.
BooBaes.
BooBaes. Hi.
Ooh, something just bubbled up from my soul. Hello.
Hello.
And a very merry
Happy
Halloween.
We should have rehearsed that. It's fine.
Yeah, we didn't plan that at all.
At all. Hey, guys. Happy Halloween.
We are recording. This is not going to come to you on Halloween, but we are
after.
recording on Spooky Day.
Which just feels right and fitting.
It is. You've
Caitlin's
got.
in her Halloween cup. I mean, shirt.
I was about to say you have your Halloween cup. I am in Josh's Halloween cup.
You are.
Y'all should really see this site right now. I am inside this, like maybe a foot tall cup that is probably 3 inches diameter, and there's
She's in there.
circumference.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna
and
shake
I
it.
am in it. Yeah, shake my world up, please.
Not shaky baby syndrome.
I am all of a sudden very small.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a cool cup. That's a cool shirt.
I could never fit in there.
I mean, a part of you could.
Yeah, like my
or
finger.
if you got like murdered and diced up and liquefied.
Yeah, it was
you
like
could
I'd have to
definitely
be.
fit in
I was like,
there.
I think diced up, I'd still be.
Or ashes.
Yes,
Mm,
I could fit in there, burnt up.
I like it.
It's got we've got Leatherface, we've got Jason, we've got Pennywise. That's all I can see from this angle. We've got Michael,
Miguel, we got Freddy.
Freddie.
Yeah, that's it.
Is that it?
It's a pretty cool cup.
is
I
pretty cool.
honestly wish that I could remember the woman's business who made this for me. I will get that to y'all later, but she makes really awesome cups. So you could get a scary cup like this. We'll have to post this on the story or something so
Yeah.
people can see it.
I have my spooky cup. It's just the one I drink out of every day. It's Gus. It's just
And
Gus.
it's cute and spooky at the same time. I
That's
don't know
right.
how something could be cute
It's
and spooky, but
it's the BooBaes official cup.
that's literally what
That
we
would
are,
be cute.
and spooky.
That's right. And then I've got my a Halloween sitter's guide, Halloween safety.
It's beautiful.
It's got Michael.
Anything that has Michael on it, that's like, you
We
did good.
love him.
Mhm.
My ear's itchy.
We are. I was about to say he's a brand ambassador, but we are basically his brand ambassador.
Yeah, yeah. Well, this is just a Michael Myers promotion
Tribute.
podcast.
Love all.
We're here for Michael. But I don't think we said,
What we are actually here for.
yeah, so we're BooBaes.
We are the BooBaes.
Right?
Hi,
Hi.
I'm Joshua,
I'm Caitlin.
and welcome back.
Welcome to our very long intro.
Hopefully you're familiar with us,
Yeah.
because that would have all just made sense.
You know what I always thought about is, thankfully, no one can get our voices confused.
Yeah.
Because in like podcasts where there's two people of the same gender,
Mm-hmm.
they're always like, it always
Sometimes.
takes me like probably like 10 episodes
To
be
learn
like,
who's who,
oh,
differentiate like
yeah.
the fluxes and their tones.
Because
Yeah.
they always typically sound pretty similar.
I don't know. I think we sound similar.
We do.
Yeah. Almost spot on.
Tell us if you've gotten us confused.
Welcome to BooBaes.
Yeah, that's right.
Today we're going to be talking about
One of your favorites.
a movie that really stuck with me because I watched it at a very young age. And it is the Blair Witch Project.
Woohoo, 1999.
The OG, not the remake.
Mm-hmm.
Which funny story, I actually watched on accident because I thought we were going to be doing that one. But so I'm
Well, we will.
Yeah, we will maybe eventually. But or I'll interject stuff from it today. And you've seen it too, right?
Yeah, it's been a hot second now. I was trying to think of back when the last time I saw
the
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah.
And I think I was getting parts of it confused. And then because I think I've seen like every single
iteration, like the sequel.
Uh-huh.
I forgot the name of the sequel, but I know which one you're talking about.
That's the one where it starts with it panning over like the island in the woods and stuff, right? I think so. There's like a scene where it just like pans over.
I couldn't tell you to be
opening.
honest.
I don't know.
won't lie to you.
I've seen that one. And so then there were parts of that. And then I think that were also the remake. As I was watching this one going like, when's that scene going to happen? And then I was like, oh, wait, no.
That's the wrong movie.
Yeah. And I'm like, I was getting them confused in my head. So I thought that I had seen this one more recently. And I don't think I have. I think it's been a good
number of years.
Yeah. Like probably at least like 5.
Yeah. I rewatched it. And yeah, it's been, for being a movie that affected me a lot, I guess maybe that's why I didn't really watch it too much again.
Yeah, you're like scared the shit out of me. Why would I? What? Ooh,
I haven't watched it probably since like junior high school-ish.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Yeah. Or like freshman year. I remember I rewatched it because somehow I watched
5
it.
was being kind. It's probably been closer to like 10 or 11 for me.
But when I first watched it, it had to been like 2000 or maybe even like in between there because I was really young. And I know specifically because it was when we lived in this one house and I was only there until like 9.
Oh, yeah,
so it had to be like
younger than 9.
7. Yeah, younger than 9. Dark living room, sisters with me, dad with me. And the way of like the house is like there was like where the living room was like there was a lot of space behind us, so it's like the couch and there's a lot of dark space behind you. You're like something is lurking. As you're so very suspenseful. And then the whole film itself.
I always put my couch on a wall.
See, I think ever since then, all couches have been on the walls. Yeah. But not
also
in that
sometimes
house.
it's hard to find a couch with a cute back. You got a cute front, but the back ain't cute.
Yeah.
So you should put it on a wall.
And sometimes, with furniture, it can be a little awkward too, like the way the layout of the room is, especially nowadays. Like it really depends on where people put like sockets and like the little things for the TV and all that stuff. Because one, you're like then like stuck with that being the the destination for that. But it really makes it hard to like, well, is the couch gonna go here? And then what if there's like a veranda door there, like the double doors, like what if there's so many okay,
this is now an interior design podcast.
Welcome, where we talk about how to decorate your house's spooky and ooky.
Keep all your couch backs open, so you can
Yeah.
always feel like someone's right behind you. Ooh, but wouldn't it be scarier if you felt like someone was right behind you and it's just the wall? That means something's like
and coming from literally, or it's just a spirit.
Yeah, and it's just laying over your shoulders.
Have you had that feeling? I've had it recently.
What happened?
I don't know. Oh, I do know. I was laying on my bed. It happened to me. I was laying on my bed, and I can't remember. I think I was working on music or something. I was on the laptop, and I was just like, whatever, away. And I really felt like there was something like just over my shoulder, like that feeling, like, and I couldn't shake it. I was like, so much so that I had to like, okay, I'm like,
you're gonna have to move.
Yeah, literally left the room, and I was just like, I rebuke any of this, like, but I'm leaving. And I'll be back. Don't be back when I get back.
You better be gone.
Literally. But yeah, I don't know if that like what phenomena phenomena that is. Like,
it's a ghost sitting on your shoulder. That's what
like,
it is.
You know, in our brains are like, yeah, it could have just been a spirit. Hopefully it's a friendly ghost. Hopefully it's Casper.
Casper.
You can keep me, Casper.
He was pretty cute when he turned
When he
into
turned
a
into a
human.
boy.
Yeah, I was
Little
like,
human.
damn, cat could get it.
Literally.
Well, I mean, like, cat should get it is what I meant.
She had a very small window. Okay,
Anyways.
so back to the Blair Witch.
Yeah.
The Blair Witch, 1999. It was directed by Daniel Myrick. I think that's how you pronounce his name. And Eduardo Sanchez.
Myrick.
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 Melindic. So
Melindic.
have you not seen that GIF? That meme? No, I'll show it to you later. Okay.
GIF.
Yeah, a GIF. I don't know. What did I say?
You said GIF.
Yeah. And you say GIF?
GIF.
Okay. Well,
If you add a T. Anyways.
there you go. Put a T at the end. So yeah, very I mean, if you don't know, if you haven't seen this movie is filmed like it's found footage. So it's supposed to give you the idea that like they found this footage of these, you know, young direct like documentary filmmakers.
3 missing people.
Yeah, and shit went down.
They actually came out with missing posters for them.
Yeah. Oh, I saw that. I read
Yeah.
that. Yeah, but they had to take them down.
Mm-hmm.
Because at that time there was like some other director, someone that went missing, and it was in bad taste. Like people started like giving them shit.
Yeah, a lot of it wasn't received well. All 3 of the actors were like IMDb even said they were dead. Like they got in on everything. Like the director was like, make these people dead.
Yeah.
And apparently it really hurt a lot of their careers later on.
Oh, I'm sure, right? And then also too, I mean, I don't think people like to be generally like manipulated or lied to.
Yeah.
I mean,
but like
it was supposed to give you an experience, but still.
The fact that people got like so upset to the point where they'd come up to like the main actress,
Heather,
who played Heather. Yeah.
At her real life, her name in life, they played their names.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh,
that's
I
their
didn't
names,
even notice
names
that.
in real life.
Oh, well, they would come up to her and be like, "I wish you were dead," kind of shit, and just be like, so
I mean,
rude.
If you watch the movie, I kind of wish Heather was dead too.
She was a little overbearing.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There was a few times where I was like, but then there was a few times where all of them, I was like, okay, all y'all showing some real, I would be though too.
Yeah.
Ugly sides in a situation such as that. I wouldn't be acting cute either.
Yeah, no, me either. I couldn't think about possibly being in the woods for more than a day. I am not that kind of person. Would like to think that I would be. But I like, you know, air conditioning and electricity or the heat, depending on what time of season you're out. Yeah. So, and wet the whole entire time. Basically.
Yeah, it was like downpouring.
It was raining. Which
that's I don't like to get wet without permission.
Oh,
like
same. Me too.
Like,
I hate
when it rains and it touches me. I'm like, no,
I am
get off.
Literally disgusted.
Mother Nature. What? Did I give you permission?
When people are like, I love the rain, I love the thunderstorms. I'm like, okay, cute. No,
I like it if I'm inside my house and can sleep.
Yeah, sure, that's nice, especially at night. Maybe not during the day, but
if I have to walk in that shit,
because but that also ties back.
They all have soggy shoes, and I bet you they stunk so bad.
Yeah. So so some young filmmakers, Heather is trying to get the scoop on this urban legend town myth from Burkittsville, Maryland, formerly known as the town of Blair, which there's basically this legend of a witch, the Blair Witch,
roll credits,
title card, who killed children basically. And there was a lot of missing. Well, first of all, let's get to like how it opens up. Like, I do really enjoy how it's very docu, you know, style, and even like they purposely made the film grainier, to give it that effect of like.
This is some
vintage
footage we found that's been sitting in the woods.
Yeah,
for a while.
Literally, and it's fucked up. It's aged. It's something. But, anyways, opening up, they're going to Burkittsville.
They go collect Mike.
Yep. And then they get there and it kind of instantly, because within the first 10 minutes, they start interviewing all the townspeople and asking them, like, you know, have you heard of the Blair Witch? I remember that first girl. She was just like, yeah, I think my older sister.
My cousin went to Blair High School.
Yeah,
Yeah.
But then you get to like the older people who are like, oh, the Blair Witch.
Yeah. Don't fuck with that.
We know some shit about that.
I loved the scene with the child, like the mom with the kid, because a kid just like keeps like trying to cover up her mouth, and it's like, no, please, like, let's stop talking about this. This is fucking scary.
Yeah, and she's like, it's okay, mommy's talking about something that's not even real, and she like looks at the camera, she's like, it's real.
It's real. Yeah.
I love.
And
yeah.
Like, then part of me wonders like if children are more susceptible and can see it, and like if like this kid knew somehow, because really at that point the mom hadn't said anything
child's intuition
upsetting or unsettling at all. Hadn't really, I mean, she was just more talking about lore, hadn't talked about children getting killed or anything like that. And then the kid just kind of starts freaking out, and I was like, I wonder if like the witch was like kind of showing herself or something.
Yeah, well, actually, and within like this like section of them interviewing all the townspeople, all it is really like, it's literally foreshadowing what you're about to watch in this movie. Yeah, because I mean, they're literally telling him what the fuck is down. Like, this is, you know, this is what happened. This is, and they're just still like, no, we're gonna keep, you know, investigating and fucks with it, and no, it's gonna bite you in the ass. So,
and there was a man too, right? Who lived up on the hill, and he's the one who killed the 7 children.
Yep.
Or killed 7 kids in general. They had all gone missing, and so they're talking about him. This guy, he lived in a secluded area.
And he came down to what, like a grocery store or a church one day, and was just like, "I'm done." Was that it?
Sorry, my throat. Cut that out. And I think so. I don't know.
Yeah. And they're like, "What? With what?"
Yeah. And then they go investigate his house, and they find the bodies of the 7 missing children that had all been
abducted.
They'd been missing for a while. And then, which I was confused because like he
would keep them in the basement, right?
Yes. And he'd take them down to the basement to kill them, and he'd kill them in pairs. And while he would kill one, this is a very important like
part of the story.
Yes. If you miss this, the whole ending will not make any fucking sense.
Literally.
So he would take them down. He would make one of them face the wall and look into the corner while he would kill the other one. So that essentially the child had to listen to another kid be murdered. But he didn't like the eyes on him, is what he said. And then he would, once the other one was dead, he'd take the other one, kill that kid. But then it's like, if you murdered him, I guess the last one, there was just no one to watch.
Right,
so.
There's 7 of them.
Yeah. I'm like,
I guess that worked out in his favor. Yeah.
Maybe he killed himself. No, he didn't.
No. But yeah, so all that gruesome and terrible stuff happened to the little kids. But imagine there being in the corner and, like you said, just listening to someone getting murdered. And you like know, like, that's about to be me next.
Yeah. I imagine they're getting stabbed in my head. I don't know why. And they're just like, blindly hearing like a knife enter someone and then just screams.
Sounds imagine them like just getting bludgeoned.
Terrible. Ugh, I hate this. One line that I really loved is just when they were driving, they're like, we have so much battery power we could fuel a small country. Which, I mean, I wish that maybe some more batteries were drained or something, like a little more spookies. But like, I feel like that line would have been a little bit more cool.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyways.
I like it. No, I was going to say too, I had a line too, and it's just from when they were interviewing people. And I had his name. Sorry, I'm going back. I have notes, you guys. And Mr. Pyerpar, something like that, was the guy who killed the 7 kids in the mountain house. But no, before that, when they were interviewing the people, she was asking this guy, and she was like, she was like, are you a religious man? And, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, yes. And she's like, alrighty.
All right.
Bye.
End of story.
Literally.
It was kind of like, it reminds me of Ratma.
VHS, literally. Okay, bye.
Bye.
Anyways, yeah, so.
That's funny.
I think after that point, they're going to see Mary Brown, right? Or they already interviewed her.
Yes. Either that or are they in the when did the cemetery happen? Okay, so the cemetery happens before that.
That's right.
So they go up and they go to their first actual shot for their docu-film.
Yeah.
The first official one takes place on this cemetery up on a hill that is filled with children, essentially. There's a shocking amount of child gravestones in this cemetery.
Because a lot of them died in like the 1940s or something like that.
And they're like, and nothing seems weird about it.
Yeah.
Which, growing up, my house in North Carolina, when I was like where I was born and stuff, we had a cemetery on that property.
Oh, wow.
Actually, there were 2 cemeteries on that property. And one of them was this little tiny, like, I mean, probably not very large. Like, I would say not much like larger than this room.
Okay.
So
that's pretty small.
I don't know. Probably maybe like 15 by 20 feet or something, square. And it had like this little, I think there's a little tree in the middle, but it was all
children,
infants.
Oh, babies.
Like a bunch of children. And then I don't remember what exactly happened. I think they died of like an illness, obviously. But it was just like a little kind of infant cemetery on our property. And man, my first house growing up was haunted as fuck.
Yeah.
Place hella haunted.
I mean, I'd imagine little babies. It gives me very haunting little cherubs.
Yeah. Little babies coming
baby
through.
Ghosts.
And my great uncle Dick or something died of like a brain aneurysm in there.
Oh no.
Yeah. So that house is haunted.
R.I.P.
That was very,
Hey.
very scary.
I mean,
but I thought that was fun that
little
I had
baby
it.
ghosts though. Like, oh, that's even worse.
Yeah,
than
like
a
how do they
human ghost.
walk?
What do they do? I mean, they're and like brains that aren't even like fully formed. Like they just like, I'm sure, like sadistic little killers.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like they're just primal. They're just pure carnal.
They just crawl in your mouth and you choke.
Aw, little baby fish just.
Their whole body.
I can fit into this cup. Okay. So also too, Heather like is very like, she's giving me theater vibes, like when she is like speaking and like stuff in front of the camera and stuff, like when she's reading the books and stuff, or reading all those things.
She was the head and owner of an improv comedy group. Her real life person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was the leader of an improv like group.
Yeah.
And that was why they hired her.
Gotcha.
Because they were like,
that makes so
they
much
asked her a
sense.
question like, you're about to get out on parole and you've served half of your like life sentence or something for killing your child. And then
she acts it out.
Yeah. And they're like, what do you think you should do? Or what do you think we should do? And she was like, I don't think I should get out or something. And then they hired her. I was like, that's a
good little fun fact.
Yeah.
Because, well, obviously honestly, it makes super much, like so much more sense now, because that's all the vibes I got from her. I'm like, why is this like, almost feel like Heather's in a play?
Yeah.
Like, or like, very much giving those vibes, and the way she read and like enunciated and things.
They even like, so just a little bit more about that. They really only gave Heather information on the Blair Witch. And then the other 2, they just kind of told them like, hey, you're going to be in this movie. Like, this is what's going to happen kind of thing. But didn't tell them really what they were
doing,
researching.
Yeah.
So that way they would have to on screen ask questions about the Blair Witch to make it seem organic.
Yeah.
And then they just sent them out with films, and then they had like a GPS kind of like location thing that kind of told them where to go.
Yeah.
And they would stumble upon the sets and stuff, but like they actually camped overnight and stuff.
Yeah,
and then
in the
the
woods,
crew would sit there and like
scare them.
Hit their tents, make those baby sounds and stuff, and the children crying. And so that was all like their legitimate reactions.
Yeah.
They were just fucking with them. Apparently it messed some of them up too. Like,
I mean, obviously.
Yeah.
I mean, that's some like psychological like manipulation, trauma that they're being put through.
Exactly. Yeah. Because they essentially were forced to actually live this film, which is why I think
it gives it that such a real vibe to it. And that's one of the things about this film that always stuck with me too, is because one, I guess the found footage style, but you you really feel the emotion from these people.
Yeah, it
and,
doesn't
like,
feel like acting most of the time.
They're scared
unless
when they're
it's
scared.
the like pre-rehearsed parts.
They're scared when they're scared, and they're like also when they lose their cools or have those tantrums or in the heat of the moment, and they're just kind of yelling at each other. Like it's just it does feel very organic. It doesn't feel like any of it's forced.
Like little things, like there's one scene where she's like, I'm putting on my gloves, I'm putting on my gloves, I'm putting on my gloves after she finds the tongue.
Yeah.
And like that just feels like she's like grounding herself, and it feels very real. There's so many parts of this film that just like, nah, like I can understand. I can entirely understand why people thought this was real.
Yeah.
Because I mean, and
that's how it was set up.
High key, it kind of was for them.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny too, because like in reading like stuff kind of about the movie and how it was filmed, like you said, like, I mean, the camera, like the sets were not the sets, but like the people who were actually working on it, like the director, like they weren't too far off from where these people were the whole time. And even like where they did film it, the actual like town or road and stuff, like was only like mile or so away. Like they were really close to civilization. But it is so crazy and wild to think of how like manipulated our mind and psyche can be to make you think and feel like there might be some
isolated
actual because I'm sure they were in their heads like, we're just here to film a movie, like shit. But then at one certain point they're like, nah, there's some actual real shit happening here. We are messing with something we probably shouldn't be messing with.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's pretty fucking rad.
Imagine it's got to add to the terror. Like I just
yeah. So they get all their cemetery footage. They
make the blood pact on the first
blood pact. Literally,
first he was like, what should we do? Should we like all cut our hands on it, bleed on it? I was like, what? So, but they all kiss the first. What is it called? A take, the real thingy?
Yeah, the little I don't know what it's called.
Clicky clack
action.
Thingy. The black and white. You guys know what we're talking about. Anyways, but yeah, they get that. They go see Mary Brown.
Yeah, there you go. Creepy lady. Do you know that she actually
was weird?
Yeah, and she was actually, so the directors of this put out a bunch of like calls for like come help out in this movie, come be a part of production around different like colleges and campuses and towns, and she was the only person who showed up.
Really?
From that specifically, yeah. And then she actually worked on, I think, some of the like prop design or set, just like something. Like she worked on something on production, but then actually played Mary Brown because they needed an actress to play Mary Brown, and so she did that.
How fun! She did a great job.
Yeah, she really did.
She like when they were talking about her before, and they're like, she's just when she asked the guy, she goes. He was talking about Mary Brown, and she asked the guy, how is she? He was like, she's crazy. And then she goes, how is she perceived? And he goes, crazy.
Crazy. And then like you get to see her, and like, and my note is like, man, this bitch looks rough.
Yeah, she is crazy.
Well, and she tells them about how she was out with her spooky. She was out with her dad. They went to go fishing. Right. And what happened? The witch came and saw her.
Yeah, she was lying on her back, holding onto the rod, looking up at the sky, she says. And then she sees this hand like extend towards her, and she looks back, and it's this woman witch thing that is covered in, she kept calling it horse fur, which I was like, She was trying to come up with the word. She was like, it was like a black that just covered all of her skin like a fur. And then she was like a horse, like horse fur. And I was like, that's hair. It's hair. But literally. That's fine. Yeah. And
this witch is hairy.
And so and then she says, and she had this shawl over her. And then when she opened it, she was just covered in this black fur. And she says, and you could tell she was a woman. So I'm assuming there is some tibbies or
breasts, some boobies,
vaginas in there. But she was just this very unsettling, and I don't remember what she said about her face. But I just remember that she said it was this woman that was covered in fur,
I remember
hair, and just so like a deer-like creature, I guess.
Yeah. frightening.
Which ties in with the snapping. When the snapping starts happening around the 10th, they're like, maybe it's a deer. And I'm like, snapping that loud ain't coming from no deers. That ain't no deer.
Deers are silent. What are you talking about?
Yeah, they try not to get shot.
Yeah.
Haven't you ever watched Bambi?
Deers
God,
are prey.
RIP.
So they're good at like being quiet and not, getting eaten by whatever's out there.
Yeah. They're not like, tink, 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 come kill me.
Literally. Tink, tink, tink.
Tink, tink. That's our killing sound.
Came back. So yeah. Mary
I
Brown,
also, sorry.
No, you go.
I forgot I had this in my notes. So at one point, one of the people they're interviewing, he was like, yeah, I just remember that like my mom or my grandma would use it as a tactic to make us go to bed. And so I was like, it's just like La Llorona.
Yeah.
And I mean,
All
fucking
boogeyman,
literally every single ghost creature, not a La Lechuza. What's the one that Megan always talked about? I don't know. There's so many things like the Switzerland, like Grindel something.
Yeah, for sure. Or even like Krampus. How like if you act bad, you're gonna come snatched.
You're gonna come get eaten, which is like, man, it's fucked up that they tell kids this.
Yeah, it's fucked up. Like, I mean, us as adults, now we're adults. I'd probably tell a kid too that now.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
Yeah,
but that's
I would.
weird. That fear.
I just thought that it was fun that like,
is
and
used
that
to
really
control.
brought it in and made it kind of more realistic, in my opinion, because so many cultures and so many people actually do use urban legends such as this to scare the children into behaving. And so I just liked that little fact. Sorry.
Yeah, no, it gives me very. Have you seen the movie The Witch? Yeah. So
I love that movie.
Yeah, and so that kind of ties in with whenever Anya Taylor. I don't remember her character's name.
It has been,
but Joy,
it's been a solid 2 years for me for that one.
Yeah, she's telling her little sister like, the witch is gonna come get you because she's like being terrible. Her and her little twin brother were little assholes throughout the whole movie. But anyways, different movie. But yeah, it just reminds me of that. Listen here, kids. If you don't do what you're gonna do, you're gonna get murdered.
You're gonna die. Listen to your parents. Or me if I'm talking to you.
All right, so that's all done. They got all their first shots for the day, and they go to a motel room. They're just chillaxing, kind of like, which also makes it even more real because it's like this is like watching them make the film, you know what I mean, and talking about it. So
it's like you're watching the behind the scenes.
Literally, yeah.
Yeah, it was cool. I like that little scene, and it's just funny. And it
helps you get grounded more with the characters as well.
Yeah,
and like kind of not care for them, I'd say, but like
I mean, it's pretty like wholesome in a sense, or I guess
it reminded me of like my friends. I guess if we were to like end up at a hotel and just bullshitting and just talking.
Yeah,
Heather's
be the
like,
same thing.
We got any weed? I'm like, same.
She ends up so she ends up growing pot like her in real life.
Oh,
that's what she wrote a book called like I don't know, something I'm serious. It's like Grow Pot Mary or some shit. That's fake. But
everything for me.
What is the name? Grow Girl. Heather Donahue. How my life after the Blair Witch Project went to pot.
That is such a good excerpt right there. Wow. I'll have to check that. But if ever there was anything for me to read, I'd read
so
that.
She was serious about pot then and now. Anyways.
I mean, not that I'm into that or anything. Anyways. So, we've got them. They're doing their stuff. They're getting ready to go camping, basically.
Getting ready to do what is supposed to be a 2 days. One night kind of hike. They also, so I don't remember if they talked to those fishing people beforehand.
What do you mean? Before
the two guys that are fishing?
No, that was after. That's them
barely
getting into
going
the hike.
into the woods.
Yeah, and then they run into those guys.
Yeah.
Right?
So they start doing that. They run into them. And they described the woman as an old woman whose feet never touched the ground with one of the people who like got away. And I was like, ooh,
Ookie,
that's
spooky.
scary.
Yeah. I was just watching The Craft. The other night. Good. And good movie. And whenever she's like lifted and going towards him towards the window, and he's looking at her feet being lifted, I actually, because it's been a while since I've seen it, I was thinking about it really hard. I'm like, man, if I was him, like, and I saw that shit, like, I'd be like, what the
Yeah, no, something about people floating. It's terrifying because it's not possible. So something, again, outside of your control, paranormal, something you can't combat is happening right in front of you. Like you can't just like go yank on the person and be like, oh, let me pull you down. Yeah. No, if something's floating towards you, something wrong.
But then like I want to be the person who's floating.
Yeah. I mean, at that point.
Don't we all?
Yeah.
So they talk to these guys. They're letting them know more about, the urban legends.
One guy is definitely a serial killer.
Oh, I mean.
With that haircut and those glasses.
And what were they doing out there? They probably walked in
on
them.
Shirt tucked in to go fishing.
They walked in on them hiding a body.
Yeah.
And they had to pretend to be normal. Mm-hmm. That's the spin.
Or that man was there, or he was there to kill the old man. Let him out. That's why he was so grumpy with him. He's like, stop talking. I'm trying to kill you.
Literally.
Stop talking all this nonsense.
Let these people go so I can murder you. They're doing their outdoorsy shit. Which a lot of this film is outdoors, you guys.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the woods.
Yep.
They take a shortcut, which is never a fucking good idea. And it reminds me of that one movie, what's it, like The Deliverance or something, where they or is it The Ritual, where they go and
it's
they're
funny that you bring up Deliverance because that gets brought up in this movie too.
Oh right, okay, then no, I'm thinking of I think
The Ritual.
Where is it? It's where the guys, like their friend gets murdered.
The 4 guys camping, right?
And and then they take that shortcut trying to get through, and then they come across that deer creature thing.
Yeah, I never
Same
knew what
vibes.
it was.
Yeah.
Demon something,
But shortcuts are never a good idea. Don't ever take a fucking shortcut.
Especially if it's like you're not familiar. Like how do you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're going off of a map here.
Yeah.
Because this was supposed to have taken place in 94, correct?
Yeah.
I believe. And so they're going off maps. Yeah, no.
Maybe that's why it resonated even more with me too.
Again.
We're 94 babies.
Maybe we were born from their death.
Cyclical. Is Heather inside you?
She is.
And Josh is inside me? No, it's Mike.
Was that more your taste? I'm just kidding.
I couldn't say.
They're both scraggly.
Yeah, just a little bit.
Anyways, so they're going. She's definitely fucking lost. She has no fucking clue where they are.
But it's the way that she's like, I know where we're at. I know where we're going.
I put Homegirl's definitely lost. Next one is this bitch doesn't know where she's going at all.
Yeah, for sure.
And Mike starts losing his shit pretty quickly.
Very quickly.
Like anger issues level.
And I like how...
And I was like, boy, come
and then too, in this moment too, because he's like, she's like, well, you agreed to this. And he's like, I agreed to like a scouted trip. And she's like, it is scouted. But I told you that it would be like difficult to find some of these. I'm like, how was that scouted then? Yeah. Yeah. Come on, Heather. You are gaslighting these men.
If you're going to do something like this, look, for all you wanting to make your own documentary series, hire someone who knows the area. You get a guide that is supposed to take you through.
Oh, but also just interjection, make sure that you really like check the fuck out of their background.
Yeah, that they're not going to lure you out there to murder you.
Because if you watch the Blair Witch remake, they found these 2 people to help them out. These people didn't know where the fuck they even were.
Yeah,
Same
that's right.
Thing. Remember, they were just pretending because they wanted to be a part of it.
Yeah,
that's
right.
So, anyways, make sure you can trust these people.
Or how about maybe we just like don't.
Just
go into the woods and make
in search of a witch.
Yeah,
I mean, and try to record it.
I do have another story about the Waco witch here and me being in the woods.
Oh, me too. I've actually done it at the castle.
Yeah,
the witch's castle.
I never actually got up to it because by the time that I moved to Waco, it was like boarded off and it's private property.
Okay, yeah.
But so one time I was walking through there and going through the woods with Toro, and we were just like hiking, trying to like build up some stamina for when we were going to Hawaii and like hiking and getting elevation levels and stuff. And so we were on like a long ass hike through Cameron Park.
That ended up at it,
yeah. And then so we like kind of stumbled, and then I was like, oh shit. I was like, oh, hey, I think I know where we are.
Yeah.
And then he was like, no, let's not hear none of that shit. And I was like, okay. So we kept going. And then so we get deeper into the woods again, and all of a sudden we hear this drumming.
Oh.
This like, it's just this drumming that's happening. And it the whole time never got louder, and it never got
Softer.
It was like it was just there the whole time with us. And so we were just kind of like, at first we thought nothing of it, but then eventually we were like, this isn't changing volume at all.
Been going on for a while.
It sounds like it is just all around us, which reminds me of when they're in the tent and the snapping and all the sounds are coming from all around them. Yeah. That's what it was like. It was just kind of everywhere. Ooh. And then we stumbled upon this little shack in the woods that had this post in the front, and it was just like a post with like a rope tied to it. And it was like fenced in with like chicken wire fence. I don't know, not a good fence, you know?
Yeah.
And I found that house again, or little shack again, and it still looked the same once. I was running and I like got lost and ended back up there. Yeah. And I was like, oh, thankfully I didn't hear any drumming the next time. But yeah, the drumming didn't stop until we emerged like from the forest.
That's wild.
Up
That's
on
scary.
the baseball fields up by Lover's Leap.
Okay, I know what you're talking about.
And that's when the drumming stopped. And it was like, it was weird. Neither of us were like, we couldn't explain what the fuck was happening.
And even if you could explain, like, you wouldn't even want to know what that explanation is.
And it sounded like a drum line, like a marching band, like dun, 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 but like real loud, like super loud. And then again, it just never.
Oh, that's scary.
Never went away.
Yeah. No, it's what you can find getting lost in Cameron Park. Because I've been lost a few times in there.
It's real easy to do.
Me and my friends would. Me and my friends on Thursdays in high school, like my junior year and sophomore year, would skip the last period on Thursdays, and we'd call it hiking Thursdays, and we'd go to Cameron Park and we'd just go hiking.
That's fun.
And at that point is when I learned a lot of like the trails, because I mean that was our first time going through many of them. So we would just literally just get lost and be like, okay, I mean we have like 4 or 5 hours till we have to be home, so we'll just figure it out. And we usually did, but yeah, there was one time where we came on the other end of the Witch's Castle.
As if the McCrispy couldn't get any better, Bacon and Ranch just entered the chat. The Bacon Ranch McCrispy, available at participating McDonald's for a limited time. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
But there's a whole other experience where I deliberately, and this was like in 2012 or something like that, 2012. Went with my friend Monica, my friend Gary, and his friend Jose, and we went out. We parked on this like the residential areas, and we just walked all the way, and like we went past the private, all of that stuff, and went to the Witch's Castle area and like started holding hands, and I was like, all right, let's get in a circle,
invoke her,
invoke the spirits, and so that was my dumbass, and I swear to God that the wind started picking up around us.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, and it got super, super, super fucking windy. And we were all, like, at that point getting a little bit more freaked out. And then I think it was Gary, or I'm pretty sure it was all three of them, but me, because I'm the more, like, I guess I was holding out, being cynical. Like I wanted to stay. But they swore they were hearing noises, like, around us in the woods. And so at that point, I said something stupid where I'm like, okay, I think I was actually quoting the crowd where I'm like, I invoke thee or something like that. And then big old gust of wind just like goes by us. And so they all take off running, Jose first. And so then I'm running with Monica and I'm holding her hand and she falls at one point. And it's a running story. Like she like hates me for it now. She's like, you fucking left me because I kept going. I did not.
You were like, you're on your own, bitch.
And I think Gary was the one that noticed that she fell and turned around and went and like picked her up. I was like, no, bitch, I'm out. Like, I'm sorry. Like,
I did this to us. It's coming for me. I gotta go.
Literally, I was like, you're the one that fell. That's on you. I'm sorry.
Maybe you should be better at running.
Like,
you tripped her.
Survival of the fittest.
You tripped her. You said it's gonna get to you first. It gives me more time to run away.
Literally. Bought myself about a minute and a half.
I love it. Oh my God, that's funny.
But that's my experience there in the Cameron Park Witch's Castle.
That's
but
so
there's
fun.
also a lot of stories that like there's a street over there in that area. It will probably come to me later on in this episode. That's really haunted.
I think I've read about it before as well.
I can't remember the name.
Is it the one with the lights and the trees?
Oh,
We'll look it up and we'll get back to you.
It starts with an H, I want to say. But anyways,
back
to the movie.
Yeah. So pretty much we get to, they have their first night. It's uneventful. They make it through the night.
Yeah.
And really Josh says that there was a little bit of, he was like, I heard some sounds outside the tent. He said it was like a cackling or something, but he was the only one who heard it. And the other two, like, and Mike says, if I heard cackling, I'd shit my pants, kind of stuff. And yeah, I mean, fucking same.
In the middle of the woods.
So they make it through, and then they're trying to go find at this point, the cemetery, right?
Yes.
Because they had to set up camp early because it started raining.
It was pouring.
Yeah. And so they couldn't really find anything else. So they had to stop.
They had to call it.
So they're trying to find this cemetery thing in the woods. They can't. They're not having any luck still because, again, they have no clue where they're fucking going.
Lost. Heather can't read this fucking map.
Also, I'm pretty sure...
She won't let anybody else look at the map.
Yeah. And I'm pretty sure the forest is, like, changing around them.
Yeah.
It is. They are in a loop, or their compass is taking them the wrong direction. They are being manipulated at this point. Yeah. And they don't quite realize it yet, but they're starting to get... People are on edge because they're like...
Oh yeah, because they feel like they're lost. They're starting not to trust Heather.
Yeah.
Because she didn't elaborate fully on why they were out there. She's getting them fucking lost. She's being a little complicated to talk and work with. They feel like all she's there for is like to make the movie, and she don't care about them. Which, I mean, she's giving that vibe.
Yes.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
very much so. The way she's like, I gotta get it all.
Yeah.
Get it on the 16. Yeah. Anyways. So continuing.
They have the loud, they're like, maybe that snapping is a deer. And that's where I wrote like, yeah, no, that's not a deer.
Yeah.
And the noises happen at 3:00. So, which is the witching hour, which is so fitting for this. And I think there seems to be a little bit of religious imagery with the 7 kids.
Yeah.
Noises happening at 3:00, which mocks the Holy Trinity.
Yeah.
That's why it's the witching hour. And then, I don't know, like the little figurines, they look like people, but it is,
the little totems
and and on Coffin Rock at all, weren't they in a cross?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Their bodies were like
those men that were dead or whatever.
Yeah.
From that story.
And so there does seem to be a little bit of some sort of religious stuff going on.
And I don't think we talked about them finding the rocks.
No, they hadn't. Yeah, we haven't talked about
rocks.
the piles of, because I think that's about what they're about to do.
Okay, yeah.
Right now. So they find these weird 7 piles of rocks.
Yeah.
And they were going back and they were like, shit, Mary Brown said something about this. Why weren't we fucking listening to her? And again, it reminds me of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with the old drunk guy at the beginning. And he's like, nobody listens to an old
crazy
drunk man's ramblings or whatever. And it's like, maybe you should. They're probably a little bit crazy.
Mary was speaking from experience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, she did seem to have a very exaggerated life, what they were talking about with her being a scientist.
She's
and
a scientist
also writing a history novel or something. And so I was like, oh, okay, Mary. Okay,
there's a little bit
Mary.
of both in there. A little bit of truth and a little bit of crazy.
Yeah.
But isn't that everybody? Is that all the best of us?
Yeah.
So yeah. We get to the rocks. They're kind of like, well, this shit is weird.
Yeah.
You
who
know,
piles rocks?
Yeah. And also, who the fuck is out here? Like, kind of vibes. Yeah.
Yeah. They're aware now that something's watching them. Something is there.
Yeah. And if it's like they want it, I mean, like, I don't know what's scarier, humans or supernatural. Like,
yeah.
Because then even Mike, remember, I think he said something like that. He's like, telling her like someone's out here with us and they're fucking with us. And she's like, well, what do you want to do with these? I don't remember, but it's somewhere along the lines of like, well, if it's people, then okay, and if it's not people, then I definitely don't want to know what that is.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, again, because you can't, like, with people you have a chance
at least, right?
Yeah.
Something physical to like kill defend yourself. Can't defend yourself against
they can't
spirit
jump around, like, because I mean, I imagine spirits can like just pop up.
Ninja.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're all of a sudden in your face. So that is terrifying. They wake up again though, and now the map is lost.
Yep.
It's gone. And they're like, we don't know where it is. They're blaming Heather. They're like, we gave it back to you. Why couldn't you get this right?
Yeah.
Tensions are high.
Very high.
They're
Mike is throwing a tantrum.
on their last nerves. Yeah. Everyone's starting to freak out a bit. And then it comes out after they've been lost again and had their freak out.
Quote unquote south all day.
South all day, and not like for 15 hours.
Yeah, and to end up back in the same spot. That Mike kicked the map into the creek.
Yep.
Yeah,
and
he was probably delusional at that point.
Yeah, and he was just like
mad and angry and just
wanted it not to be in Heather's hands because clearly it wasn't dependable.
Yeah.
And so that's childish, but
also too, Heather was really annoying me on this part whenever they were like lost for all those hours, and she's just like, you guys, if y'all just have the map, just please let me know you have it and I'll feel better. Like, I know y'all have it.
Yeah.
Like, girl, none of these, they don't have the fucking map.
Yeah.
Like, literally.
They lose their shit on him. And this is when they find the little people, the little, the
little totem people thing.
The signature Blair Witch.
Yeah.
What you imagine when you see the Blair
twig
Witch.
Shaped into human form.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or children. I guess they're children, right?
Yeah. Hanging, strung up about in the woods.
Yeah.
They're like, whoa, come look at this. We found.
There's so many of them.
He goes, Mike says, I found this voodoo shit. Is what he starts yelling.
Yeah.
And so now they're obviously, they're losing their fucking minds at this point.
They're scared.
And I absolutely loved this scene because that's when they start singing like God, because they're like fuck this, and like God fuck you, and then they're like God bless America, and they're singing the patriotic songs, and I loved that scene. I just thought it's like these motherfuckers are reaching, like they're freaking the fuck out,
and they're trying to ground themselves somehow to like, no, like this isn't really happening, or
and it just seems like they are in just this like bout of mania, and they're just they're slipping.
Yeah,
they're slipping.
Well, I mean,
trying to
no food,
go
really,
away from
right?
reality.
They're scared. They believe that they're lost. They are not getting really sleep because they're being terrorized at night.
Yeah.
By
whatever the hell it is.
They don't know, and that's even more scary because they're so in like the dark about everything. Like, we don't know what the fuck is out here.
And after this past night, they woke up and all of Josh's stuff was like thrown about, was covered in slime, like a blue ooze kind of stuff.
I looked. Fun fact is that it's KY jelly. It's lubricant. It's literally lubricant.
I love it.
Color dye in it.
That's so fun. And then Josh takes the camera, and I put, not her getting mad when the camera's in her face, like she hasn't been doing the same thing the whole fucking goddamn time.
Literally.
Like Josh is like coming up, trying to film her, and she's just like, stop. And I think that this is probably my favorite line from the movie is, are you gonna write us a happy ending, Heather? And I was like, damn, Josh.
Yeah.
You tell her.
Literally.
Tell her. That was a good line. And it's like, sorry, bud, but no.
Josh, the whole time, though, too, this whole movie, he's been on his shit. He's like, no, this is some bullshit. I don't want to fucking be here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in this scene, when when Josh is like starting to now taunt Heather.
Yeah.
And Heather's like crying. Mike is like surprisingly the only one with the head on his shoulders at the moment. He's like, be like, calm down, come on, like it's okay, blah blah blah. And I was like, is this the same fucking person who was just screaming, having
a tantrum?
Yeah,
who
like a
the
3-year-old. Yes,
literally.
A second ago, I was like, this is the same person. Okay. But they go to sleep that night.
Yeah,
and Josh is missing the next morning. He's gone, which is terrifying. And they were like, we never go out of earshot. They're trying to find him. They spend an entire day looking for him. They can't find him.
Can't find fucking Josh.
And so then they're just like, we don't know what to do. So they just keep going. And I loved this part, which she was like, which way do we want to go? Like, because south wasn't.
Oh yeah, yeah.
He was like, east or west. Like, was the Wicked Witch of the west or the Wicked Witch of the east? And I was like, I love that. Yeah, they're just like basing it off of Wizard of Oz and shit.
The fact that like he was like, which one was bad? And so she's like, the west, right? And so he's like, okay, let's go east. And I'm like, they're both bad. The only good witch was the north.
Yeah.
They were both bad. It was like Like they're both bad.
So no matter what, they're fucked.
They're fucked.
And we find that out. Yes.
Yeah, literally.
And so as they're going, they're still sitting down. And this part of the movie is a little slow, but I think it is so important to the film. With them just kind of reminiscing and talking about like food and stuff. And like, what do you like to do on a Sunday? And she's like, I used to like to hike, but
not anymore.
Not anymore. Yeah. And I think that that's just like they're trying. It's heartbreaking.
They're trying to
comfort each other. And they're thinking about the things that
bring them
joy
and make them feel safe.
Talking about pumpkin pie with the milky melted ice cream over it, and what was it? Mom's mashed potatoes were earlier.
They really need a cigarette at this point.
They were bugging. Yeah. But I really liked that part. It's slow, but I think it is necessary.
Really humanizes them after you've been seeing them act like animals for each other for a lot of the movie and be really dicks to each other. And
it's a nice lull before shit starts going down.
And isn't this also the moment though too where she's like facing the camera and she's like, I'm so sorry.
Not yet.
Oh,
it's
God.
about to be.
Yeah.
Because then that night they hear Josh screaming.
Yeah.
And they are like, oh my God, we have to go try and find him. And
never also too have I ever not wanted my name to be Josh because of the way she was screaming it the whole time.
Yeah. It was her screams, like the way she screams Mike at the end. I was like, that borderline sounds like demonic. I don't know. I mean, it was terrifying. Yeah. And I imagine that's exactly how I would be screaming too if I was in a situation.
Blood curdling.
Yeah. Sends chills down your spine, kind of stuff.
So they're trying to find Josh, cannot find Josh.
He wouldn't tell them their location, his location. But they're hearing what they believed sounded like Josh, but they don't know if it is him. What it is, they don't know. Yeah. And they wake up the next morning and they find a little gift right outside the tent. I put, she just wants to be friends.
Literally.
She's just trying to be nice.
A little token of her hospitality.
It's a little thing of twigs tied up with a nice surprise inside.
A little bloody pouch. And Heather's checking it out and she's all like, wow, it's full of blood. And not thinking like, well, there could be something in here that's
also, this looks like Josh's shirt.
Yeah. Yeah. And so open it up and we get an
surprise.
A little surprise that you don't really see. It's kind of off camera-ish, but it's a tongue. It's Josh's tongue.
Well,
that's what we're led to believe.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
In the little pouch. And then, so that's when she realizes like, now I don't like that she doesn't tell Mike.
Yeah.
She does not let Mike know what she found, which is like, nah, girl, why are you keeping this to yourself? Like, you need to be telling some people.
Everybody needs to have all the facts on the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she goes and she washes her hands, and that's when she's like, I'm putting my gloves on, I'm putting my gloves on, I'm putting my gloves on. And I like that scene, like, a lot. And then that night, she realizes, like, they're probably not going to live.
Yeah.
And that's when it is the cover.
Your hoodie, your little beanie kind of looks like her.
Yeah, I got my beanie on today. I didn't plan that. I just didn't want to do my hair.
But her face just like nose deep in the camera, apologizing to Josh and Mike's, their parents, all of their parents.
Her parents too.
Yeah, because she fucked up.
And admitting, that she's killed them all. And it's real. I mean, it's not her fault, but yes. Like,
it's Heather's fault. Nobody would be there without Heather.
Oh, I said the other part was, this is actually probably my favorite line too, was that I'm scared to close my eyes. I'm scared to keep them open. I'm going to die out here. And that's
true fear.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And, Mike's going to have a little story that'll tell us about that in a little bit once we get to the end of this. But about keeping eyes open. So that's, yeah. So, I loved that line. I thought that was great. And we wake up, or do they go then? I don't know. Shit starts getting real.
Yeah, wait, I think we completely, and how could we, or no, it's not happening yet. Okay, go.
Yeah, they're about to get to the house, though.
No, but their tent with the little kids.
Oh, yes.
And the laughing. And just hear all the laughter.
Yeah, so that's when it's like happening now, right?
Yeah.
So stuff starts getting real crazy outside the tent.
Yeah.
Children laughing, like wailing, all sorts of sounds, and it's just everywhere. The tent is like being
pushed
shaken and stuff like that. Very terrifying.
Yeah.
Everything I would not want to happen to me
in the dark
while
in
a tent.
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely not. I don't know. Like, I understand why some people are scared of camping. I grew up camping, so I never really thought of it.
I guess you got used to it and associating it with like it's a good time. But I guess me, for no one who's never gone camping, like when I'm alone in like Cameron Park, even when it's dark, like it's a little eerie being out there because you don't know what's around you.
Yeah, yeah.
So,
and I don't know why I always just thought I was super safe in a tent. Now, like when I look back and think about it, I'm like, oh fuck, I'm not.
Vulnerable.
One time I went camping and I slept in a hammock, and I woke up and I heard like someone. It sounded like they were whispering right next to my ear.
Oh, creepy.
And then that's what's terrifying is I was in a hammock. My whole entire body is exposed.
Yeah.
I am just like a little meat sack that could be stabbed.
Yeah, literally. Mm-hmm.
And I think I woke the person up I was camping with, and I was like, get over here in my fucking hammock right now. Like, get over here eventually. Because I was like, no.
If I ever go camping, I am taking...
an iron box.
Literally something
house.
to protect me. Or that.
Go in an RV.
Yeah, there we go.
But yeah, so they're starting to run now.
Shit hits the fan. They start hearing Josh, quote unquote, yelling for them. And this is why also too, like I was upset that she didn't tell him that she had found the tongue, because he's clearly like, he's over here. And I'd be like, no,
she
bitch,
can't be talking.
I clearly know that's not him
talking.
because his tongue was cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He could be screaming, like making wails and stuff, but no sounds.
Yeah.
Like, I'm over here.
Yeah.
Heather,
Yeah.
Mike. Wait, yeah, it is Mike.
It's Mike, yeah. Because Josh is the
and
one
Mike.
That's oh, wow.
Wow. But they're following him. I can be Heather for a day. They're following the noises, the sounds. They come upon this house that has like fuck ton of sticks up in front of it. Like, maybe you're not supposed to go in this house. I don't know.
I literally wrote, don't go into the house.
Yep. Not a good idea. And she's saying Mike's name like so much. And then so that's when it starts saying Mike. And I was like, ooh, now it knows Mike's name. And then it starts calling Heather. And I was like, eat. They're going up. They hear there's like a random noose on the wall.
Yeah.
I saw that.
Well, it's the way too that like they heard Josh, so they think they hear him from coming upstairs, right?
Yes.
But then all of a sudden they are upstairs, and then Mike is like
from downstairs.
No, he's in the basement.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's not possible.
Also, so I put, how many stories does this fucking house have? They were just going up and up and up so many times, and I was like, I don't know if it's just the camera angles, but I'm like,
because
this
it's so dark,
this house is like just growing. And it seemed like they went up 4 flights of stairs.
Yeah.
And maybe it could have been a 3-story house. It was a very tall house with like an attic. I don't know, but it felt like they just kept going up the stairs, and I was like, how many stories does it have? But yeah, then they hear him from downstairs. Mike starts running. He ditches her.
Basically, yeah.
And then they get separated, and she is screaming those blood curdling mics that are just almost, you can't. If I didn't have subtitles on, I wouldn't have known that she was screaming Mike. Yeah. I would have just thought she was just screaming because it was almost like incoherent.
She was screaming for her life.
I don't know what the word I was trying to say, but it's terrifying. And then we get the ending scene where, first
iconic.
off, Mike gets downstairs. Yeah. He gets to the basement, and then all of a sudden his camera cuts. It drops to the ground. And then it cuts back to Heather. So it's just like, you get this like few seconds of his footage being filmed from the ground. Yeah. And then it goes back to Heather. And then she enters the basement, and she sees Mike standing in the corner facing the wall. Just like
how the guy
little
would
kids
kill.
did.
Yeah.
Yep. And then her camera drops.
Also the ground, yeah. And then it's just like half a camera image, and then and that's it.
And it cuts off very abruptly. And so
and you're left to just,
you can assume
these people are dead.
These people are dead based on the story that was told. Obviously, the Blair Witch didn't come to fuck around. And
Yeah, and I
she
think what even
was murdered
what
while
drives,
Mike was facing the wall.
yeah, and I think what even drives the fear more is the fact that like there's never a reveal of like a witch. There's never a reveal of like what's doing it to them. Like,
And
you just, yeah,
again, my fucking favorite.
yeah,
I love it
yeah,
when they do that. That is what makes this so terrifying. There's no little kid coming up. Like, you're not
Yeah.
seeing these little kids. You're just hearing it, which is
even more
so
worse. Yeah.
unsettling.
Yeah, and that's what I didn't like about the remake is that they ended up showing.
They have a little kid that like walks up to the tent, don't they?
That and like at the end, at the climax, because of like, I don't even. Anyways, but they show the witch, and it's like this like really deformed looking thing. I'm like, no, that's not what the witch would have looked like in my mind.
Yeah.
So that's not even scary.
We've all got this idea, our own idea in our head,
Yeah.
and so it's beautiful to leave it up to people's imaginations, because again, whatever we are going to conjure up in our head is going to be the most terrifying thing to us. And so it can be so different. Like, we could have completely opposite ideas of what this witch looks like, but to us, it's the thing that terrifies us the most, which is what makes it so scary.
Wouldn't it be so
my
cool to
opinion.
like hook up with some like graphic designers and elaborate what I see and elaborate what you see, and then like
have
to
them
have
draw?
like an image of what it would be.
Yeah,
That'd be
cool.
really fucking dope.
But so Mike, who is the heart, soul, everything, the god of Rogue Media Network, got to see this movie in theaters when it came out, and we wanted him to interject and tell us a little bit of story time. So
You're just telling people how old I am, is what it is.
Mike, the grandpa, the old man,
The living legend himself.
he is ancient. I'm just kidding.
So yeah, I when did you say this came out?
99.
99. Jeez, 22 years ago.
It's been a while now.
I saw this in the theater, and this is one of the movies that stuck with me for a very long time. And like I told you guys previously, I have a hard time with this movie telling the people how great this movie was when I first saw it, just simply because there's been so many like it afterwards, and it just gets lumped in with everything else. What people need to remember is that this movie was the first of this kind. I mean, it was the found footage movie before anything else. But saw it in the theater, and the most frightening thing to me was I didn't think the footage was real and stuff like that. I didn't buy into any of that, but it does suck you in, number one, because, hey, you'd never seen anything like this. And then at the very end, when we've got the guy in the corner and the camera falls on the ground, the people that were running the theater that I was in just immediately turned the lights on and scared the bejesus out of me. So
That's a jump scare.
Yes, very much so. And it just stuck in my mind for like the next week or so. Like taking a shower or something, I didn't close my eyes. You know, I mean, and I'm a grown person at this point, and it scared the crap out of me. So, yeah, it'll always be a classic as far as I'm concerned.
I feel like that really speaks to the level and to be. I mean, and I think for all of us, I don't know, that is the first found footage genre film I ever saw.
It's actually lumped into one of the first few horror movies I ever watched.
Yeah.
So there's that as well. And I mean, me being a little kid, for the longest time, I actually thought this was all real. Like, I thought it was real.
It took me a while to be able to differentiate, because like I feel like I remember my mom or something being like, this is real. Like, I don't know. And so I feel like for the longest time I did believe it, because I mean, I was young when it came out, and so I believe anything.
Well, there was a big. This was almost viral before viral.
Yeah,
like it went around, and everybody said, "Oh, there's this found footage thing." You know, they just it was all
exactly.
Yeah, great marketing.
Yeah, I mean, they really went above and way beyond what I think anyone.
They killed the actors.
Yeah, they killed the actors. The parents were getting sympathy cards, and like people thinking that they were actually dead, and that's just wild to me. And to go that far, that's insane. I mean, they really, really went with it, and then people got so upset because they were lied to. It's just like, I get it, but like, it's just a fucking movie. Like, so calm down.
It's not that serious. I love it though. So, are we ready to give it some booze?
I think so.
Do our ratings?
Wait, Mike, how many boos would you give this?
What's the scale?
5.
1 to what?
Do you even
1 to
listen?
5?
Wow.
Just kidding. Well, so I'm a part of several other shows, and their scales may be different.
1 to 100.
Yeah, if it's 1 to 5, then I'm going to give it a 6.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, I mean it is one.
I
of my
love
all-time
it. We can outside the. This is
breaking a threshold. This is a first for
yeah.
BooBaes.
We're poltergeist level. We're throwing shit around.
There we go.
Kind of ghost. Love it.
We'll love that. A lovely 6 boos for Mike.
6 boos for Mike. Nice.
I will give this a 4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
I think
I'm feeling too.
I would have gave it a 5, but when I rewatched it, the only thing that
Heather.
Yeah, she was the only thing for me that I was like, ooh, I'm cringing so hard through this because Heather's just really annoying the fuck out of me.
She says later on in an interview that she thinks people disliked her character so much because she was so headstrong. And I was like, I think that's you trying to save a little bit of face because you were acting how you act.
Right? Like, that was not a character.
Yeah. I mean, I would be
just
pissed.
remember, without Heather being in that tent, we never would have had the Save Britney video either.
Really?
You know what I'm talking about? Where like the guy gets
Oh yeah.
How they were treating Britney. Yeah.
Leave Britney
That's
alone.
True. Wow, like their cultural impact is pretty.
I love
their pop
it.
culture impact. Yeah. Yeah. So I'm gonna stick with my 4.5.
4.5.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's about where I'm feeling too.
And with Mike 6, we had a solid 5.
That's a 5.
That's a 5 right there.
He put a thumbs up. This film again, it was a like pivotal turning point. I mean, this inspired so much.
Yeah, like Mike said, there's so many more found footage type of style,
like
movies
VHS
out.
and VHS 94. If you missed those episodes, we talked about those, and they are again found footage genre.
Yeah.
And while this one is this one feels very raw.
Yeah, very much.
And so many people I know don't like this film because it makes them motion sick or something. And it's, there are parts of it which reminds me of like when I'm FaceTiming my brother and he just like moving the phone around. I'm like, fucking stop. I can't focus. But I don't get motion sick watching it.
I usually do. But with this one, I didn't really. So that's really good, actually. Maybe because I was just like invested in it. But
yeah.
Yeah. Awesome.
It's a great film. If you haven't seen it,
Blair Witch Project.
you have to. It is the perfect
First
spooky
one to
day.
Get a 5 out of us.
Yeah.
Yep.
And it's worth the
well
watch.
deserved. Yeah.
Worth the watch.
Yeah, and it's really not a long movie or anything at all.
No, it's
very short. It's like an
80
hour.
minutes,
Yeah.
hour and 20 minutes or something.
That's very,
Yeah.
When I was rewatching, I was like, "Is it really this short?" I for some reason remembered it being longer. I don't
Yeah.
know. Mm-hmm.
I mean, short and sweet though. I don't know. I love it. And then
Like me.
that's right, me too.
Mm-hmm.
And we're both short. Anyways,
Sweet.
sour sweet gone.
We're both in the lovely Rogue Media Network.
That's right. You heard
studio.
from our God just now.
Literally. It is always nice to be here. They take really good care of us, and so many other podcasters.
So many others.
So many.
There's so many. There's a show for everyone on this network. So
Literally,
if you're
so-
not following them, figuring out what sort of events and crazy stuff they're up to this week,
This is your wake-up call.
yes,
Get to it.
get to it. Hop to it.
And also, happy Halloween.
Happy Halloweeny.
Yes.
Yay, weenies and boobies.
All of it.
Sorry.
Anyways, you'll be listening to this after, but we hope that you had a great
Very
spooky
spooky.
weekend,
Love it.
doing all your costuming and partying and enjoying the frights and the thrills
Mm-hmm.
and witching hour.
Yep.
If you
If
stay up that late.
it was a chill day for you, kudos.
Yeah.
I had a crazy weekend, not of Halloween stuff. So I've just been very busy
Yeah.
with work. But I'm excited to dress up today by myself. I don't have any friends doing anything today, so I'm just going to sit and watch scary movies in my Tendo from Haikyuu, Shiro Torizawa, number 5, middle blocker
There we go.
costume, and drink wine and watch scary movies.
Sounds like
So
a fucking great night
that's
to
my
me.
plan. But if you would like to follow us on social media, we have exactly one platform you can find us on, and that is Instagram at,
BooBaes Podcast.
that's right, all one word, no babes,
Just BooBaes.
baes, B-A-E-S. You can also listen to us on pretty much any of the streaming platforms you would your little heart desires.
Apple.
Biggest ones being Apple. Yep.
We got it on Spotify.
Spoofy. Google Play, Stitcher, all that jazz.
Amazon, yeah.
Who knows? Who knows at this point?
On the radio.
On the live, coming to ya.
On the AM.
On the AM radio, not FM. Fuck you, FM. Just kidding. That reminds me of Hot Rod, in which I'd like to imagine he's got a little bit of semen stuck, and it splits his pee. And on one side, he's peeing on the television, and the other, FM radio. Anyways, so that's my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Andy Samberg's my main man.
I've never seen it. Hot Rod?
Okay,
No.
You're coming home with me now.
Okay.
But yes, if you are listening to us, though, please don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe. Those are the only ways we can ever get ahead in this world and keep doing stuff for you. But I think that's all on this spooky dooky day. I got my Freddy Krueger matching Carhartt. Freddie and I got a match today. I love it. I'm going to go buy some Halloween candy and
Eat
some
it all.
coffee because I ran out of coffee this morning. So anyways,
Bye, Baes.
bye, Baes.
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support and a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.